Greetings YouTube, time for another bargain video. First up we have two comics, Zombie Sub 920 issue number 1 from September of 2013, and Zombie Sub-Zero number 2 from March of 2014. Big gap between these issues. I haven't read them yet. They were a gift from a coworker who knows that I have a penchant for comics, and I love the old school, like 50s, 60s horror comic vibe from these covers. They're great. Next we have Sex on the Moon, the amazing story behind the most audacious heist in history about 3 people who stole moon rocks, the most valuable rocks on the planet. Next we have The Lost City of the Monkey God, which is about finding a lost city in the rainforest. The Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, which is from Mark Twain. This has got nice illustrations. She does not have a copy of this, so I got that for her. Fortune is a River, Leonardo da Vinci and Nicola Machiavelli's magnificent dream to change the course of Florentine history. I didn't even know they knew each other, so there you have it. Then the last book, which is The Disappearing Spoon, and other true tales of madness, love, and the history of the world from the periodic table of elements. This looks like it's going to be very geeky. And I guarantee you, the Disappearing Spoon is made out of gallium. Now we have some digital media. We have Scorpion King 3 with Ron Perlman and Dave Bautista. And then we have Scorpion King 4, which has got Lou Ferrigno in it. Oh, these are going to be so damn bad. We have Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which has a commentary track. I'm happy for that one. We have Alice, and this is a 2-part miniseries from the Sci-Fi Channel, which is actually remarkably good. I was quite pleased. We have the Padawan Metis from Star Wars, Lego Star Wars. We have Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan. First Squad, The Moment of Truth, which is an anime dealing with a magical Russian schoolgirl taking on Nazis. That should be fun. 3 Burials of Licaras Estrada. I know I got that guy's first name wrong, and I apologize. I've heard this is good, and I picked it up for a song. We have Wrist Cutters, which is a film about what happens to people who have committed suicide in the afterlife. We have Goomba, which is an animated film I saw a trailer for on another animated film. It didn't look bad, so I picked up a copy. And then we have Crazy Rich Asians, a film I have not seen yet, but I've heard great buzz about, and this has commentary. Next up is going to be more digital media. We have Victor Frankenstein, which is a film I've heard is a great bromance. We have the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie, Mine Hunters, which I got specifically for the commentary track. Dragon Fighter, a Dean Cain movie. This does not look good. Frankenstein Unbound from Roger Corman. Skulls, which I got for the commentary track. Castle Keep, which the back says is like a satirical World War II film, so that could be interesting. Taps, which I got for the commentary track. A documentary about Mars, a documentary about Hitler's lost sub, a Disney film about a non-white superhero. He's Indian. That's gotta be, I can't wait to see that one. Shazam, and you notice some of these have little purple stickers, some different colors. They say promo. I got those for sale at Walmart in the day after the Black Friday. I don't do Black Friday anywhere at all. I have more respect for retail workers than that. But I was still able to pick through what was left over, and I picked up some stuff. I picked up Shazam, Brightburn, and Aquaman. There may be some more later in this section that were also from there, from a different Walmart. Then we have The Way Back, which is a road trip movie. Kyle XY, which is a television series. This is the first season. I've heard something where somebody once said it wasn't bad. I picked it up for $5, and I actually think I'm gonna even get it on sale for $2.50. So I'm going to give that a try and see if I like it. I don't know if it's how many more seasons there are of this or not, but I don't mind a little bit science fiction. We have The Adventurer, The Curse of the Midas Box, which was actually very entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. And I was kind of sad that they did not make any sequels, because I think they set it up for more films, and they just didn't happen. We have Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who. I have not seen this one yet. We have Reign of the Supermen, something I've never seen. The King Who Would Be King. Both of those are from Walmart. Then we have Super Troopers 2, a film I have not seen yet, and we'll have to watch when my wife is not around. She really didn't enjoy the first one, while I thought it was absolutely hilarious. The Apartment, a classic. Bad Times at the El Royale, and I'll probably have to watch this one without my wife till I can vet it for violence, because she's not really into violence. And then we have Bella, which is kind of a romantic comedy thing, which looked like it might be entertaining. So this has been the entirety of the digital media. Next we move on to gears and art and stuff. We have a chicken hat, because everyone needs a chicken hat. We also have a NFL fan face, which is a rubber mask, which is kind of scary looking. I don't follow any form of professional sports, or amateur sports for that matter. I'm going to paint this and use it as a mask, as something else. I don't know what yet, but it'll show up as something else for $3. I like the way it was sculpted, so I covered this with spray paint, and it's something else. We have this white piece of quartz here, which is actually a sample from a kitchen store that went out of business. So I was able to, I actually know the guys Eric and Hector, who put this, who do estate sales, and this is $5, and it's like 3/4 of an inch thick, maybe 7/8. It's pretty thick. But I'll be using this as a background for pictures. We have these two pieces of really nice mica. These are just lovely. And this green stone, I picked up all three of these stones at the same estate sale. I have no idea what this is. None whatsoever. Anybody who knows anything about stones might be able to tell me. There was no label or anything. Those two I can tell are mica, but I don't know what that is at all. We have this cool little brass hammer. I thought that was cool, because I like hammers, and I like brass. We have this so ugly that I love it vase. It's a little pinch pot. It cost me $2, and it is so ugly that I love it. Yeah. This is a kitchen tool. It's a meat tenderizer. And if you use it as a cesties, it's still a meat tenderizer. Just a different kind of meat. This is absolutely nasty. I gotta get a picture of that one. This is a solid cast iron pestle. I don't think it was ever used, because the surface here has got like no wear on it. It weighs 3 pounds. It is not light. Awesome impact weapon. We have a footy for a cane. I got 2 of these for $2.50. I'm giving one to my father, and I'm keeping one for myself in case I ever need it. Then we have a Rockler clamp block set, which I paid $4 for. It was originally $22, and that was back in 2013, so I have no idea what that costs now. And what you do is you set up 4 of these, and they allow you to put 4 clamps at right angles to each other for aligning things at 90 degrees to each other. Now, I don't know if I actually have a use for this at the moment, but for $4, $1 a piece, I thought I'd give it a try. For aligning things, when you want to align something, having the right kind of support gear is really important. We have 2 locks here. I actually bought 3 of these for $10, and one of them is already in use. These are from the American Lock Company, USA Hardened, Series 700. And I did a little bit of research on these, and the Lock Pick Lawyer on YouTube, who is a very, very knowledgeable lockpick dude, actually really likes these, partly because they have a really thick shank, but it's a good lock in here, and they're not as easy to pick as some other types of locks. Of course, he can pick them because he's an expert. But again, I bought 3 of these for $10. That's $3.33 a piece, and each of these is worth about $25 or more. a piece. This one probably a little bit more because it's got a longer shank. So yeah, awesome. These are nice and heavy. They're nice heft to them. They make a great impact head on a mace or something, on a flail. But yeah, great deal for that price. We have a couple of bells. This one is a dragon bell, which I didn't think we had a dragon bell. It needs a little support. It's just the shell itself. It had a 4-point top on it, but it doesn't any longer. So I'm gonna have to rig up some way of hanging this. So I make but the sound isn't horrible. We didn't have a dragon bell, so I'm gonna have to do something with that. This one has some kind of Etruscan, Babylonian, Assyrian thing going on here. It's got a great sound. And that's a cat. Yep, that's a cat. This is a massage tool, which has a very smooth head. So I would like to use this on my calves. I have very tight calves, which doesn't have a lot of, a lot of massage tools are bumpy and stuff. This looks like it might be useful, and I paid next to nothing for it. This is a cat head made out of balsa. It's in pretty decent shape. It's older. Got one broken fang, but I don't care about that. And I paid like $1.25 for it. Move your butt. Then we have this, which is a 8-ounce bronze mallet for $2. Can't pass that up. Then we have a cast iron monkey, which I thought was pretty cool. This is a sanding block, which has this slides to unlock it, and this slides back again to lock it. You just use standard sandpaper with this, and I get that very inexpensively at an estate sale. We have this, which is from Schick, a company I've never heard of before, U.S. It says SF. Does that be San Francisco, maybe? Not positive. But it's aluminum. It's an aluminum monkey wrench. The jaws are steel, but an aluminum monkey wrench. I thought that was a really cool idea because it's light, and you shouldn't be reefing on something hard enough to bend the shaft anyway. I've seen steel ones that were bent. People that didn't know what they were doing. But if that's something that tight, you need to be using something to loosen it up before you use a wrench on it. We have this, which is a reamer deburring type tool. Also, it will make a really great impromptu weapon. We have a set of locking tweezers, which are rubber coated, so you can grab them on something and then lock them in place. I paid, I don't know, like 50 cents for those. This is a colonial hunting knife. Obviously, it's very, very inexpensive. It has a plastic handle, and it's got to be from like the 50s or 60s. I've got no sheath for it, but it's kind of an interesting piece in and of itself. We have this, which was probably a pusher for like a grinder or some kind of a mill or something. So you'd push food into a device. I'm going to turn it into some kind of a wacky thing. And then this is, it says IPES. I don't know what that means. It's a tool handle of some kind. And I'm thinking I'm going to cut off this section here so that it's just flat. And then use it as the handle for some kind of a blade. Drill 2 holes into something there and a third one down in the shaft, so it won't rotate and it'll have more strength. Then use that as a tool handle to make a weapon because it's got a nice heft to it. It probably weighs 2.5, maybe 3 pounds. It's solid cast iron, and I paid like $5 for that at a flea market. Okay, we got more stuff of tool variety coming up next. This section just has 2 items in it because the last section is going to be a lot that I purchased at an estate sale, and I want to show it off as a lot. So this is an Est-wing axe head. The shaft would have been, probably come to about here. It's a smaller axe. But obviously it was cut off or broke off at some point, and then someone turned it into a hatchet. So I would like to see if I can turn it into a better hatchet, because these are good steel. Obviously it needs to be cleaned up, but I'd like to see if I can come up with a better handle than this. And I would like to someday own an actual Est-wing hatchet. They sell them, as well as this size of axe itself, S20 makes some really nice tools. How the heck somebody broke this is beyond me. I have no idea how you do that. I haven't cut this off yet to look at it to see what shape it is, to figure out if it was cut off or broken off. I'm hoping it was broken off because somebody cut this off intentionally. That's just criminal. These are great tools. S20 makes some nice stuff. And then we have this, which is a T-ball bat, which has this sleeve, which just comes right off. It slides right off, and it slides down here and locks in place. This is the locking ring. And there are hard weights in here, and this is padding, so it adds weight to the bat for strength training, I guess. You know, getting used to swinging it. Though it's a T-ball, I don't know what's on a T-ball for, but it is. And I didn't need the T-ball bat. I really don't. I'll find a use for it probably. But they were selling it as a unit for $3. So for $3, this alone is worth $3. So I want to modify this somehow, take it apart, look at it, because these things open up and you can take the weights out and stuff. Maybe you can change the weights and things. But I want to see if I can use this to be able to slide this onto any bat and turn it into a weapon. So we're going to see what I can do with that. And again, I'll find some use for a T-ball bat. I don't know what it would be. I'll turn it into something. But T-ball bats are good because they're decent mace sizes for two-handed maces. So, okay, now one last section, which is going to be shown as a lot, which I picked up at a single estate sale. Okay, everything on this table I purchased at one estate sale. It was in Plastown, New Hampshire, put on by a group of Brits, in fact, 3 British people, the guys. And I'll show you what I got here, then I'll tell you what I paid. This is a, it's not light, this is a saw vise. It is devised to hold a saw blade while you're hand sharpening it. So a saw blade for like a hand saw, the old school hand saws. And of when they had a teeth design that was very simple. A lot of modern hand saws have complex teeth designs that really don't lend themselves to hand sharpening. And you use this to clamp onto the knife, onto the saw blade itself, and then you can use this lever to rotate this ball here to get it into any position you want it to for the proper angle for sharpening, and then this tightens onto your workbench or your truck or your wagon or whatever, so that you can take this with you, and it's semi-portable. It is portable, it's just not light. It's solid cast iron. And I've seen these in this kind of condition running from like 50 to $100. Okay, I saw one that was less than that, but I have no idea how small it was. There was no scale, and how new it was. This is a vintage piece. I don't know if it's antique or not. This is a masonry hammer, which is in nice shape, and it's a war pick, man. This is a war pick. Leather stack handle, it's in pretty good shape. It needs some little conditioning. This needs to be polished up, get the rust off of it. And I may just sharpen that up a bit just for fun and turn this into a real life war pick. We have these 2 hand axes. This is a roofing axe, I'm not positive. But this is Sandvik. So this is Sandvik steel. It needs to be cleaned up and resharpened. Both of them need to be sharpened. But this is a good quality steel hand axe. This one I don't know much about. Is there a name on it? No, I'm not seeing a name. It's readily apparent. Maybe once I get the schmuck cleaned off, but I can see something on the blade. This is a Sears Craftsman adjustable wrench. Back when these things were made in the U.S. So I don't know how old this is. It's vintage, probably. It's not an antique, but it's vintage. What we got on there? 43381. For any of you tool geeks out there, made in the USA. This is a Palmgren drill press vise. It's not designed to be attached anyway. It's designed to be able to move it around, and you can hold things in here. These jaws are removable, and I've seen them online. I've seen pictures of online where they had this jaw with a groove, both vertical and horizontal, for holding round stock, shaft stock, and things like that. That might be a good thing for me to see if I can hunt that down, because or find someone that can machine those grooves for me, because that will be handy. And this particular vise in this size, new, I've seen for around $70. maybe a little bit less if you get lucky. Obviously, this has got a little age on it, but everything's square. Everything it all functions. It turns, it closes, it clamps. Everything lines up. It's just dirty. I don't care about a dirty vise. I will use a dirty vise. All I gotta do is brush this thing off. Like this when I got this, they had so much gunk in here I couldn't read it. The toothbrush, now I can read it. And then we have these two draw knives. These are both flat. This is a Chinese knife. That one, I don't know what this is. This one's obviously older than the other. They need to be sharpened, but having draw knives around is always handy. I have a curved one in my collection already, and these two draw knives will be added to that. I may sharpen this up and give it to somebody because I don't need two flat ones. And then we got these two punches, which are just, I'm just going to use those for, marking location holes before I drill steel or something, And I got the entire lot that you were looking at on this table for $15. Now, be aware that this is a $70 vise. Even in this condition, it's probably a $35 or $40 vise. This is Sandvik steel. This is a vintage wrench. This is worth $15. And this is probably worth $50 to $70. And I got all of this for $15. I'm telling you, folks, there are really good deals out there if you're willing to take the time to go and find them. It's worth your time to do. Alrighty. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. And I will put links below so you can go to my Instagram page and follow me where I show images of things I don't buy because they're weird and strange and I don't want them, or they're too expensive, or they're just things that are dumb. So you can go follow that and look at some more weird things I find. And I'm getting better at using the hashtag so I can actually get people drawn in from other places. But yeah, this has been a really great find. That I just love estate sales, man. Not only do you get great deals, but you get to wander around inside someone else's house legally and not get arrested.